football at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is on NFL Network. It's on Fox. And it's streaming on Prime Video. A lot of options for you for next week. We've got a full slate of action, of course, on Sunday, starting out with the Bucs and the Panthers in London, only on NFL Network. So for the first month of the season, it was hard to find an offense hotter than these Chiefs, right? It's been a different story the past few weeks. Mahomes is nursing an ankle injury. It had him limping a little bit in Sunday's loss to the Colts. And Jeffrey Chadia has more on the banged-up reigning MVP.
The left ankle of quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been all the talk around the Kansas City Chiefs this week. He first hurt that ankle in Week 1 against Jacksonville. He re-injured it against the Colts last weekend. And after the game on Sunday night, he said he was still feeling pretty sore. But Mahomes this week said that he's starting to feel better, and the Chiefs are saying the same thing. Offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy said that even if he's banged up, they don't want to limit what he does offensively. They want him to have the full playbook because that's the kind of warrior he is. The bigger question is what's going to be around Mahomes. He's going to have 2 offensive linemen down, and he's still going to face a lot of man coverage. Now, in weeks past, he was able to use his mobility to get away from players and be able to give defenses fits. This time around, even if he's banged up, he's going to have to find more ways to work his magic. We'll see what happens against the Houston Texans this weekend.
I'm hoping it's a high-flying, high-scoring affair. Thank you so much to Jeffrey Chadia. We got to get him in studio.
Yeah, he's great.
Jeff, we love him. So this week, we've got Mahomes and the Chiefs against another quarterback from the 2017 draft class, and Deshaun Watson. It's the first time these two facing off against each other, and he's fresh off that 5-touchdown performance against the Falcons. Is this something going on here with these two quarterbacks? What's the deal?
I go back to Philadelphia, and you say, well, what's in Philadelphia? The NFL Draft 2017 was in Philadelphia. We were there as a show, and with the 10th overall pick, a trade has been made. The Kansas City Chiefs are moving up to 10, and I'll never forget Rich Eisen and Mike Mayock said, is this for Watson? And they take Patrick Mahomes, 10th overall, and all of us went, whoa!
And Eisen went, whoa, on the call, I remember it.
2 picks later, the Houston Texans trade up, and they select Deshaun Watson. And here these guys are on these paths. First year, it was all Watson. Mahomes watched from the sideline, no one even knew his name. Second year, it was all Mahomes. Watson, maybe kind of watching from afar. Had a nice
Bouncing back from that ACL.
Yeah, 11 wins in a row. And now they're both coming, and they're almost at this like apex of their 3rd year, both of them just rising in the AFC. Who's going to be the next one? I think there's a ton of stakes in this game. And I think if Deshaun Watson beats Patrick Mahomes, it's a statement to across the league and saying, now hold the phone here. Hold the phone here.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys jumped on that train a little early. I could still play some football too. Fascinated by this matchup. I love the dynamic of them drafting. Kay, you mentioned it. They didn't play in college. One was at Clemson, one was at Texas Tech. And they only know each other from working out with Jordan Palmer back when they were in high school.
Is that right?
Yeah. So this is not like these guys have been battling for 10 years. They're not bosom buddies. It could be the matchup. This could be our Brady and Manning for the next decade, though. So if this is chapter 1 in the AFC, I'm in.
What I love about this is that Deshaun Watson he's received that title as an athletic quarterback, and rightfully so. I mean, he can tuck it and run it with the best of them. But this past weekend, it was almost like he was changing the narrative right in front of our eyes, that 5-touchdown game, staying clean within the pocket. And as much as people can make the argument that Pat Mahomes is the most prolific passer maybe this league has seen in quite some time, Deshaun Watson said last week, wait a minute, I might be athletic, but I can throw it too. I can have a tremendous game with my star wide receiver, my number 1 wide receiver, not going off. And he did that last week, and that's why I love this, because this matchup says a lot about who's the best young quarterback, who's going to take the torch from Breeze and Brady and Rivers, and also within the individual battle for the MVP award, one of these guys could end up being our league MVP. I know Russell Wilson, for me, is at the top of the list, but if you're looking just at quarterbacks, Christian McCaffrey aside, it is Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and then Pat Mahomes, because the last couple weeks, Pat Mahomes hasn't been lighting up the scoreboard.
It's such a fun conversation. It's like when we talk about McCaffrey or Saquon, like these are champagne problems. Who's better? And this is pepperoni or sausage, the two of them. I think it's interesting with Peter, what you're saying about Mahomes kind of had the train got full, and they asked us Watson and saying, like, hold on a second. Watson has to deal with some stuff that Mahomes has not. Watson doesn't get to come in and play for Andy Reid, doesn't get to sit for a whole year behind a venerable guy like Alex Smith and learn. Watson already had the big injury that he's dealt with. So I feel like in a way his degree of difficulty has been bigger, and yet right now, there's a whole deal with Mahomes where I just can't scream it enough that the Tyreek Hill deal is a huge, huge deal. You say, well, everybody deals with injuries. Nobody has Tyreek Hill. No one has that. It is the best weapon in all of football at any position. And he doesn't have it. And we're like, well, Mahomes will just Mahomes, and you can throw in some guys there and throw to him. I just think we are right now at a down time for Mahomes because some of his most valuable players are not out there. If you want me to say who's got a brighter future, I guess I would go Mahomes by a hair.
Really?
But by a hair. I think that he is a more talented passer. But we're splitting hairs now, the two of them. I don't know if it's a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. It feels more like a next generation, like a Trout and Harper, you know, or like a Hobbs and Shaw, whatever the hell it is.
It's great movie.
Incredible. Tour de force.
I mean, you can say what you want about the pass rushers on both sides. Whitney Merciless is going to want to get to Patrick Mahomes, and you can say what you want about that offensive line. But, I mean, just the way Patrick Mahomes plays, he's only been sacked 7 times. They've allowed 7 sacks through 5 weeks. So we'll see if Deshaun Watson can get the ball out of his hand as quickly as he has been. And that offensive line, they had some rookies. I feel like they're gelling. They made the trade for Tunsil. I sort of clowned on it. I don't know why they were making that trade, what they were doing with Bill O'Brien making the calls there. But it's clearly maybe coming together just at the right time for Watson v. Mahomes to really play at their best in Week 6.
No doubt. And to Kyle's point, you talk about Tyreek Hill, he's the ultimate man beater.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce said last week in that loss, they played us man and said beat us.
Right.
You know what's crazy? Versus man this year, Pat Mahomes, his completion percentage drops 22%.
22.
His passer rating is nearly cut in half versus man this year.
Okay.
You know who changes that? Tyreek Hill.
No.
He can beat every coverage, but he's not on the field. Makes a big difference within this offense.
Got the guy covering the coverage all across the league right now. It's Will Selva out in the newsroom in Culver City with the latest.